The night was thick with fog as I arrived at the secluded cabin deep in the woods. It was supposed to be a peaceful weekend getaway, just me alone with my thoughts. The old wooden house stood silent, its windows like hollow eyes staring into the abyss of the night. I shivered, blaming the cold as I reached for the door. A single note was pinned there, scrawled in jagged handwriting. "Do not open the basement door, no matter what you hear." I smirked. A classic horror cliché. Probably some prank or old superstition, I thought. With a chuckle, I crumpled the note and stepped inside. The air was stale, thick with the scent of old wood and something faintly metallic. As I unpacked, an odd sensation crept over me, like unseen eyes tracing my every move. The dim lantern light cast flickering shadows, shifting unnaturally in the corners of the room. Hours passed, the night stretching into a suffocating silence. I tried distracting myself, reading an old book, making coffee, but my attention kept drifting to the basement door at the end of the hall. Then just past midnight the noises began. A soft whisper, almost too faint to hear. A scratching like nails dragging across wood. A slow, deliberate knock. My breath hitched. I told myself it was my imagination. But the sound persisted, growing louder, more insistent. Pressing my ear against the floor, I heard it clearer. A voice, low, desperate, calling my name. "Help me, please." A chill slithered down my spine. Logic told me to ignore it. But curiosity, darker and more tempting, urged me forward. My fingers trembled as I reached for the basement door handle. And then I turned it. The door groaned as it swung open, revealing a staircase spiraling downward into blackness. A wave of frigid air rushed up, carrying the scent of damp earth and something rotting. I hesitated. Everything in my body screamed, "Don't go down." But I had already crossed the line. A dim, flickering bulb hung from the ceiling, barely illuminating the rough stone walls. Deep claw marks lined the surface as if something had tried to escape. The whispers grew louder, layered voices speaking over one another. I took a step. The wooden stairs creaked beneath my weight. Another step. And another. The deeper I went, the colder it became. My breath fogged in the air. Shadows moved at the edges of my vision, flickering like living things. I reached the bottom. The basement stretched impossibly far, much larger than the cabin above. Dust-covered furniture lay scattered, untouched for years. At the far end stood a rusted iron door. The whispers were coming from behind it. Something slammed against the other side, rattling the metal. I stumbled back, heart hammering. Every instinct screamed to run. But then, the voice changed. It was familiar now. "You let me out, now it's your turn." The iron door burst open. A shape emerged. At first it looked human. But as it stepped into the dim light, my stomach twisted in terror. Its skin was stretched too tightly over jagged bones. Its hollow eyes bore into me, soulless and unblinking. Its mouth twisted into a grin, teeth too sharp, too many. I turned to flee, but the stairs were gone. In their place, an endless corridor stretched into blackness. The walls pulsed, shifting as if alive. A whisper slithered into my ear. "You were warned." I turned in a frantic circle. The basement was no longer a room, it was a maze. A shifting, breathing labyrinth of stone and darkness. The creature was gone, but I could feel it watching, waiting. Something brushed against my shoulder. A whisper, almost playful. "Now you belong to us." I ran, heart pounding, lungs burning. The corridor twisted and turned, never leading anywhere. The walls groaned as if laughing at my panic. I screamed for help, but my voice was swallowed by the silence. Then a door appeared at the end of the corridor. I lunged for it, yanking it open. Blinding light flooded my vision. Hope surged in my chest. Then I saw where I was. The same cabin. The same dim lantern flickering on the table. My packed bag sat untouched. The basement door was closed. And the note was back on the door. "Do not open the basement door, no matter what you hear." My hands trembled. Reaching into my pocket, I pulled out a crumpled, blood-stained note. My own handwriting stared back at me. I did it, but now I regret it. A shadow moved in the reflection of the window. But it wasn't mine. Time lost meaning. Was it days? Weeks? The whispers never stopped. They slithered into my thoughts, pushing me toward madness. Every night, the basement door would open. Every night, the creature would emerge. Every night, I would run, only to wake up back in the cabin, trapped in the same loop. I tried everything, breaking windows, setting the place on fire, refusing to move. But every time the cycle reset. The cabin always restored itself. One night I saw something worse. At the edge of the woods, a figure stood, watching. It was me. But not me anymore. A twisted version of myself. Hollow eyes. A knowing smile. The truth hit me like ice. I was no longer real. The thing in the woods, that was the real me now. And soon another traveler would come. Another foolish soul who would ignore the warning. And then I would stand in the woods watching. Waiting. Whispering the same cursed words. I did it, but now I regret it.